elections expert, to talk about the result in the Peterborough by-election last night. A good night for Labour. They held the seat.
Yes, politically a good night for Labour. Psephologically very underwhelming. 2 points to make. The first is that at 31%, the Labour Party's share of the vote is the lowest share of the vote ever won by a winning by-election candidate. And in truth, that's just but one of many indicators of the way in which our politics is now much more fragmented. Secondly, the performance, once you take into account what happened in the constituency 2 weeks ago in the European election, the outcome for Labour is perfectly consistent with the party's current average rating in national opinion polls, which is the grand total of 23%. I do not think that this is either evidence that the Labour Party is at the moment in a fit state to fight a general election, or indeed, as Labour Party is trying to claim, evidence that somehow or another Brexit disappeared in the last 2 weeks in this by-election. Basically, this is exactly what you would expect, given the impact of the European election and the Brexit legacy on our national politics.
Well, Jeremy Corbyn thinks otherwise in terms of being ready to fight a general election. Let's listen to him in Peterborough.
Yesterday, the Labour Party came together on the streets of Peterborough. The Labour Party came together in this campaign. And on the day that Theresa May ceases to be leader of the Conservative Party, my message is to all the squabbling contenders for the Tory party leadership, bring it on. We are ready for a general election at any time.
Well, he says he's ready. John, what about the state of the parties in general as a result of the Peterborough by-election?
Well, what we now have to realise is that we are now looking, for the time being at least, not at the classic Conservative Labour duopoly, but at a four-party system. Essentially, the polls are saying the Brexit Party are running at about 25, Labour has already said about 23, with the Conservative Liberal Democrats, 20% stroke high teens. And the result in Peterborough is exactly in line with those kinds of figures. And basically what we have now is a situation we have the two traditional parties who, frankly, like the Labour Party indicated last night, would much prefer to talk about issues of left and right and find it very, very difficult to maintain unity on the question of Brexit, being now challenged from both ends of the spectrum by the two parties who are very happy to talk about Brexit, but who perhaps don't necessarily have a great deal to say about anything else. That is UKIP and the Liberal Democrats. But all four of these parties are at the moment serious contenders for power in a forthcoming general election. Now, of course, it then leaves open the question, will this last or not? And you can argue that the experience of previous European elections is that it won't, except that the cause of this change, Brexit, ain't going to disappear anytime soon.
And that's a potential problem for the Labour Party.